So even though this tutorial is a beginner's tutorial, I talk really fast, so if my voice is annoying you, just mute it and look at the captions and follow it at your own speed. I really just don't want this to make you any more confused. Just watch me, and if it makes you confused, don't watch this video. So I hope this helps. So right when you open it, you'll see your projects and edits you've been working on, which automatically save. To start an edit, you click this plus button at the right corner, and this is where you want to choose the composition of your edit, which is like the size. The eye in the center will recommend you which one you should use based on what social media platform you want to post your edit on. I'm just going to use the square one, and then you press edit video. Now you want to find an audio to use beforehand. You can just screen record them to get them, because VideoStar like has music, but you don't really want to use that. You just get an audio beforehand, and to cut the audio, you press start to get it to start, and then end to get it to cut it to where you want it to end. Your next step is adding pictures on beat with your audio, but you first need to split the audio on the beats, or where the beat changes. And so there's more than one way to split your audio, but I find the most basic way is to find where the beat changes, press edit, then tap quick split scene, then click split on the right where you want the audio to split. And that is it. Just repeat that process for the rest of the audio until it looks something like this. I kinda love everybody, but you isn't any. Now that the audio is split, you want to add your photos and then eventually transitions. So first you want to tap multi-layer. Now this might be confusing, but bear with me. First you want to click on this one layer, and once you do that, it gives you many options at what to add. For now, we're just going to focus on clicking photo and add the photo that we want to put into this section of the edit. So now we're going to press that one layer and press edit keyframes. And so this is sort of the drawing board for transitions. So first we're going to start down here. I'm going to do a simple zoom transition. For this, we're going to play with the size indicator down here at the bottom. Where you want the transition to begin, keep it at 100, and then go to the very end and put the size at around 300. So technically you have done part of a transition, but you're missing a step. Graphs. They basically dictate the speed of your transitions. So you're going to press that little box with the line through it and scroll down and specifically click this graph with this shape. You can tell the zoom in is already smoother. Now, if you want to get more advanced, you can instead click this custom button, which is where you can go in and manually build a graph yourself. And technically you would make the same shape as the other one, but custom graph allows you to really customize the speed and just like personalize your transitions more. Now for that last step, you want to go back to color and add what's called tracking blur, which basically auto adds blur to your transitions, which makes it smoother. And you can change that amount using the indicator on the right. And so there is part one of your zoom transition. So for the second part of the zoom transition, you're going to do kind of the same thing. You're going to go and add a photo in multi-layer, but this time you're going to go and add what's called a mirror, which is just an optional thing you could add for transitions, but I recommend doing it. So then you go back to that edit keyframes button that we went to earlier, and you're going to go back to that size indicator and put the first frame at 50. Then you're going to go to the last frame and put it at 100. Then go back to that graph option and either pick this specific graph. Now this graph is different than the one we did before, so pay attention to that. Or you could go press custom again and do a graph similar to this. Then just like last time, you're going to add that tracking blur to the transition and adjust it as you see fit. And there you go. There is part two to that zoom transition. So this next part is for video editors, where I'm going to show you how to add videos and slow those clips down. So you're going to click on New, then Import Video, and add a video from your camera roll. Next, you're going to set it where you want to start and end. Now you're going to click on New, then Velocity right there. And now before I go any further, this slowdown effect you must purchase to use, and I low-key think it's super worth it, so if you are a main velocity editor, I recommend buying it. So finally, you're going to copy where I put this little green line, which is right above this one. And then boom, it's slowed very smoothly. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope this didn't give you a headache and it gave you at least an insight on how to use VideoStar. Please like and subscribe. I love you guys. Thanks. Bye.